This election is about introducing the new financial system. 100%. There's no mistake Trump brought on RFK. There is no mistake why Trump got so close and aligned with Elon Musk. Okay? And the reason is because Trump has been very public on bringing in Bitcoin into the treasury.
Las distracciones y narrativas reinan este mundo tecnológico. Todos tienen una opinión de lo que es la verdad y lo que es mentira. ¿Quién controla el mundo? ¿Los aliens son real? ¿Vivimos en un Matrix? Estas preguntas serán debatidas con José y Daniel G, explorando y descubriendo las verdades de nuestro mundo, nuestras creencias y nuestro reality. Welcome to Cultura Truth Project.
Dímelo, mi gente. Welcome back. Estamos de vuelta. It's another one. Cultura Truth Project. Jose G. Daniel G. Dímelo, mi gente. What's up, bro?
Well, it's morning in America, everybody. It's morning in America. I'm just saying, bro. Did we break out of is there a massive collective of the American citizenship that has broken out of the Matrix?
Not necessarily broken out of the Matrix, but there's a lot of people that have been awakened in the last 24 hours. And
Bro, is it a revival? Is it a Jesus revival?
I don't know if that's necessarily a Jesus or Yahusha revival, but something's happening, man. But welcome to the show, everyone. Hope y'all having a good day. Hope y'all your anxiety is either down or up, but you know what? It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be all right.
There's no worries. You're watching.
We're gonna have a good conversation today. All right. We're gonna talk about this election. We usually don't get into politics, but we're gonna get into it because there's some stuff that went down during last night's election. And who else to break it down with than my brother Danny and his bestie and third-time guest on the show. So
the first one ever.
On the fifth one, we're gonna be like SNL and give him a jacket since he's already Pooh Bear in it. Pero dímelo, bienvenido de nuevo. Welcome back, Ricardo Avilés. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, guys? What is up? Yeah, I'm definitely Pooh Bearing it. I think this is the podcast to do it. Thank you for having me.
It is. It is the
podcast live.
Does that mean does Pooh Bearing on a podcast mean that you like being on that podcast, or when you're fully clothed, that means that you absolutely have no respect for that podcast?
I mean, I Pooh Bear it anywhere, man. I Pooh Bear it. It's not about the podcast. It's about me being comfortable with the people that I'm around to Pooh Bear. I'm comfortable around your billions of listeners that they're gonna hear about me Pooh Bearing.
Love it, bro. Love it, bro. Danny, how you been, bro? How you been since yesterday?
I'm giving a quick reference to people what Pooh Bearing is. I'm not going to describe what an adult man looks like Pooh Bearing, but I just do want to remind you what the character Pooh Bear looks like. And just imagine Richard in that outfit. And I think there should be plenty for you guys. All right. I'm great, Jose, to answer that.
You know, we're not only fanning.
You can use your imagination. We don't make any money off of Richard yet. But you know, yeah. I just wanted to remind you guys what the character Pooh Bear is, and then just anyway, we're leaving that alone. I've seen it happen in purpose.
Pooh Bear. All right, guys. Welcome back to the show.
I'm good.
Make sure you follow us on all our socials, Cultura Truth Project, at Cultura Truth Project on YouTube and on Rumble, and also Gonzalez Media TV on Instagram and on Facebook. Subscribe to the podcast on all major platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. So sorry, bro. Sorry to cut you off, but you were talking about your last 24, 48 hours. Had to pay the bills. Oh, and by the way, guys, make sure you join the supporters only. We had a great supporters only pre-record here before we started the podcast. Make sure y'all listen to that. You got the link in the description. $3 a month. You can't get the audio anywhere, only there on Spreaker. Supporters only. Link in the description. All right, Danny. Sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, man, it's been a great 24, 48 hours. You know, I thoroughly enjoy watching the Super Bowl of politics in the United States every 4 years. You know, it's a great to see. My favorite thing, I don't know how you guys spend your election night. Usually for me, you know, I grab a nice little popcorn. I have my 3 to 4 stations ready to flip at all times. And I'm going from conservative talk to liberal talk to independent talk to YouTube talk. And it's great. You know, it's like watching my very beloved brother-in-law, Julian, just watch football on a Sunday. But for me, it's during politics, and it's great. It's a great time. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Either way, we all get up the butt, if you know what I'm trying to say. Everybody has a good time.
What? Everybody's gonna have a good time. Yeah. I usually just keep it low key, bro. I was by myself. My wife was traveling, so I don't partake in watching any cable news or, you know, listening to the mainstream media or anything like that. And I did this time. I was like, you know what? Let me see what the Matrix is up to tonight, and just kind of like see what they're complaining about. And it was just, for me, it was just hilarious watching mainstream. So you're talking about CBS, ABC, NBC, CNN, all struggling with live streams and live coverage. Okay. And when you're looking at podcasters like PBD, Joe Rogan, these people that are pulling in 60, 50, 13 million views, you know, that that President Trump interview with Joe Rogan, that was getting 1 million views per hour.
That's just on YouTube.
And it wasn't even trending. So they were suppressing all of that shit. So, and then all the stuff that happened with him at the earlier this year with all the indictments and all the, you know, all the stuff. And still, bro, when Cody Rhodes won WrestleMania, I told you this was predictive programming.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
I told you.
Check this out though. This is No, you did, Jose. We're not saying it wasn't. Okay. We're giving you but look at this. This is, as of right now, this is the final tally. There's a couple of states that still need to be reined in, but
look at Missouri.
Electoral College.
Missouri right there.
Missouri, let's just give it up. Okay, couple of fun stories about
Arizona.
This.
I think Arizona,
Florida for two election cycles. Yeah, dude. Hey, for 2 election cycles in a row, Florida was one of the first states to report as in like hardcore red. What is DeSantis doing down there, Jose? Jeez, he's running a tight ship right now.
You should pull up Missouri,
dude.
You'd be surprised in Missouri. Very surprised. It crashed. Danny pulled it up and it was like, what the fuck?
No. The powers didn't want
99-point-something% red, I think.
Yeah, man. And it's very, very telling on the mentality of where the American people are at right now. You know, they see.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of this stuff, you know, when you look at the external. So when I say external, right, I'm talking about your everyday shit that you do, going to your job, making money, paying for your groceries, putting gas in your car. You know, the little stupid mundane things that you got to do in everyday life, in reality. And in everyday reality, Americans are really pinching for the penny, bro. I mean, gas is still expensive. Groceries are expensive. Healthcare is expensive. Everything is crazy expensive. And I think that's what really drove people to the polls, because they're tired of these crazy ass prices. And, eggs, $3, $4, $5 a dozen it's ridiculous. So I think that was a big motivation for the American people. And also what was interesting here in Florida, the right for an abortion didn't pass. You needed 61% to pass. Yeah, same thing with legal recreation of marijuana. You needed 61% to pass, and both of those amendments did not pass. Now, it is very interesting, right? So it kind of goes back to like what Danny is saying. Right now, we've seen the U.S. kind of be on this pendulum swing, going left, going right, going left, going right, and then we went left too much, way too far left, and now we have to kind of bring things back into the right side. For things to make sense, because there's so much shit that doesn't make sense, bro.
Can I point out something interesting that we found, by the way?
Dale.
Danny, can you pull up California?
Yeah.
Thank you. Tell me what you think about this as soon as you see it.
1 second. Let me go ahead and share it.
We found this real interesting. Like, Eric sat down and looked at every state. And when he pulled up Cali, I looked at it and I was like, whoa, that's... You'll see here in a minute.
What are we looking for?
Cali. Half red, half blue, bro.
So the valley. The valley.
The bodies of water.
Yeah, where the valley is and the mountains, that tends to be red.
But isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Well, it's not wild. It's not wild. It's predictable. I'm not going
to lie. On the other side of the country, though, right? You see the same thing in New York. Go to New York, Danny. Go to look in New York.
But it's not just that. Let's point out. It's the population centers, right? Because let's look at Nevada, for example, right? Las Vegas, blue, right? Let's see Salt Lake,
Missouri,
blue.
Missouri. The 3 counties that are always blue have been blue. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. I get what you mean.
So then let's look at Texas. Let's look at Texas. Blue,
yeah,
I see. San Antonio, blue. Yeah. Austin, I'm surprised.
Florida, same thing. When you go to Florida,
Austin, I'm surprised. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So it's like
Houston.
I'm looking at this thing here, right? Like usually Miami, but Miami went red though. That's interesting to me.
And
Miami
Osceola County
Miami hasn't
red.
gone red in a couple of decades.
Osceola County went red,
but Osceola County's more rural though.
No, but also Osceola County has gone blue for the last 2 election cycles. This time it went red. Orlando.
I guess the Puerto Ricans are voting, Danny, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the Puerto Ricans came out. Regardless of what that motherfucker said.
I knew.
That's interesting. That is interesting. Like here's something I was having a discussion with a different person the other day, that that election cycle, that whole thing with the Puerto Ricans and garbage comment, it was a big deal in the Puerto Rican side of the internet, but to the rest of the country, to the rest of the world that didn't really understand what that joke was about, it was like, he's truly Teflon Don. Nobody cared. And how did Kamala try to get the Matrix to really, really hone in on that towards the end? She got Cardi B, she got Fat Joe, she got every Puerto Rican artist you can think about that is somewhat famous, even on the B list. It's like, hey, come and help Kamala out because Puerto Rico se respeta. And don't get me wrong, yes, se respeta, pero like really, like Tony Hinch, like.
Y acaban de botar otra basura, como dijo Ricardo earlier on socials. We'll get into that race here in a little bit too, pero.
Yeah, I've had like a couple emails about that. People are like, "What do you mean by that? What do you mean?" I'm like, "We'll talk later."
We'll talk later. Yeah, we'll cover that a little bit more later. Pero when it comes to that whole situation and like what was said, how did Kamala Harris was able to put together a very well-produced response video to that comment that happened at MSG in New York, right? And it was specifically to the Puerto Rican population. Bro, if that's not scripted, I don't know what is, bro. That's how can you not be more pro wrestling than that?
Pro wrestling, I love it,
dude.
Makes sense. Hinchcliffe fits into pro wrestling.
It's like the same thing, like what happened with the whole Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef. You know, how the hell are you putting out well-produced songs one after the other? 10 minutes apart from each other, bro. You had that shit ready in the fucking cannon to shoot, bro. You were ready to go.
Yeah,
you had it in the chamber.
But you gotta admit, Kendrick did win that. Kendrick.
Oh, for sure, bro. Kendrick. Oh, for sure.
Listen. Drake lost so bad that he's at the front row at NBA games. I dog in NBA players like they won't whoop his ass. You know what I'm
saying? I hope that during inauguration day, this will be so gangster, bro. If DT gets out of his car, walks down like he did in his first term, bumping, they not like us. They not like us.
Oh, Jesus. No, it has to be many men. It has to be many men. 50
many men.
Y'all remember back during the 2015 cycle when Donald Trump was running for president the first time, when he made that mention. He said, "Oh, I could shoot somebody in the middle of Times Square or Fifth Avenue and nobody would touch me," or some shit. Remember that shit?
No, but that's funny. That sounds hilarious.
No, he's the Don for a reason, bro.
He legit said that shit. Anyways. So our boy, Paranoid American, made a fucking amazing meme. And
oh, really?
Yes, dude. Because he's an artist. He's a comic book artist. He does a lot of AI stuff. And bro, I'm about to like blow your mind with this shit because it's wild. Check this out. It's short. It's not very long, which is what she said.
What
a
missed opportunity.
What a missed opportunity. Oh, Lord.
There we go. Check that out, bro.
How can he get away? What the
fuck? You did that with AI? That's hilarious.
Bro. How wild is that,
Look at what the fuck is in the grocery cart, bro?
I don't know, dude. I don't know what's in the grocery cart.
Bro, but here's the thing. You know how you flip that, right? He's out to fight the high prices of groceries.
Oh,
this is crazy. We need a soundboard. Jose, next season, we need a soundboard.
Next season, we
definitely need a soundboard, bro.
Jesus. This is becoming great. Look,
I'm just ready for 99-cent chicken breast, okay? Like, I'm ready for 99-cent
dude.
99-cent
bring back the dollar menu from McDonald's.
Bro,
I don't give a fuck about the dollar menu of McDonald's. Give me back 99-cent chicken breast, goddamn, it's a pound. That's all I want.
Let me ask you guys this. Let's talk, right? Like, we policy-wise, right? Like we talk about the Matrix and all that stuff and all the other things, but how do you think for the normies, the NPCs out there, the people that really all they care about is just what happens at home and with their families, do you think that capital gains tax thing, which scared the crap out of every business owner that I know, that Kamala was,
and me, dude,
that Kamala was like spouting at the end. He was like, we're just going to tax people and do gouges on things, blah, blah, right? Like, I think that scared enough, even people that hate her, to be like, yo, homie, we can't do this. Like, we made money with this dude. Like, we made money with, Mr. Many Men over here. We made money with bad politician over here. Like, we're not making money now. We're not going to make money with this other lady.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? Do you think that when she announced that was like the nail in her coffin? Because I feel like she was at least a month and a half ago, even after Trump got shot, like a lot of the chatter was like, we can't trust him. She's capable. And then all of a sudden it's like she released her tax plan. It's like the rest of the world was like, yo, we are reading the fine print now because we've already taken 3 shots and we don't want to take a 4th. What do you
take this one, Ricardo?
I think it's a combination of things. I think that definitely, like, when I saw that, I was very surprised with a lot of it, especially with the capital gains, because not only that, but it's like, well, you're just playing a game where if we're gonna play this game, then everything's just gonna go up, right? Because I have to recoup my money some way, somehow, right? It's kind of like when people talk about like incentives from the government, like you have to be real careful where that comes from, because that was one thing that I didn't understand until this election that Eric did a really good job of explaining to me, is like, okay, if you want money for XYZ things, right, then where are you going to get it from? Because you have to be able to pull from something. So like, that's one of the things, like when she showed that, I was like, for me, when I was looking at it, it kind of felt like, she was just like trying to like pull things and throw things. And this is just from an outside perspective. I don't vote. But when I heard that, I was like, ooh, it feels like you're trying to throw things at the wall to see what sticks. And then that one, some people were like, yeah, but then like you could tell like afterwards, like a lot of people were like, ooh, wait a minute. And then to accompany that, the other thing was giving people like a $15,000 like first home buyer or something like that, which that also surprised me, because I was like, well, then I heard like a bunch of realtors say, oh, it's like, I'll just raise the price. And I was like, the fuck you mean you just raise the price? Well, you just raise the price. Like if we're going to get $15,000, we get $15,000. I'm like, oh, like this doesn't work. Like once you start looking at the economics of it, you're like, oh yeah, this doesn't work. So I think here's the thing with her. I think she had a lot of pressure from a lot of people. A lot, which I can't even imagine, right? The insurmountable amount of pressure that she had. She's probably had to keep some shit to herself, which that fucking, that's hard on anybody, anyone who keeps secrets long enough, they weigh on you, and on top of that, man, like, I don't really think she really wanted to do this. I think she just got endorsed, and it was like one of those things like, yeah, sure, fuck it. I could be 100% wrong. We'll know when she writes her book, Almost. Is the name of the book that she's going to be writing. So we'll see.
No. She's a never was.
Never was. The one who never was.
The one who never was.
Or hey, the one that got away, and then she'll fucking play the Taylor Swift song. Ooh, no, there it is right there.
That's Hillary's book, The One That Got Away.
The one that.
So what I find interesting around this whole situation, just kind of looking at it from a 30,000 foot overview, is how the influence of mainstream celebrities don't have the effect that they did have 20 years ago. Right?
The economy's changed.
Now you have people that are like chasing streamers down restaurants, down malls, because they have way more of a following than a music artist like Drake or, Kendrick or something like that. I'm just using those two as an example, right? But my point is that look at what the Democratic Party has done over the last 20 years. They've always used mainstream people. In this last cycle, they used J-Lo. They used Cardi B. They use all these Illuminati Hollywood artists, right? Or wannabe Illuminati, because they're just puppets. They're not really Illuminati. They want to try to be and, doing their symbols or whatever. But, at the end of the day, they're just puppets. But these are the puppets that they use because these puppets have fans, and these fans idolize these people, right? So they think in their mind, oh, we're going to use these people of influence that, have all these listeners, all these people that watch their videos and listen to their music, and they're going to sway the vote. But then on the other side, you have more than 50% of the country that have been awakened to the fact of what has happened over the last 4 years, ever since the C-19 crisis, right? Everybody's realized that we've been lied to. Everybody realized that the mainstream, and this time I'm talking about the news, okay, doesn't necessarily have the trust of the people anymore. Now you have people on like us right now that are talking, that are covering the facts of what's going on here on the ground. You have people like Rogan interviewing President Trump, interviewing Elon. He could be controlled opposition for all I know, right? But it still doesn't dispute the fact that someone like Rogan that's on Spotify and on YouTube is outdoing the numbers of the main conglomerates of media. Okay. And the main conglomerates of media are CBS, ABC, NBC. So here's what's going to happen. And this election is a lot more than just about the economy. It's huge. It's very, very deeply ingrained into the economy amongst all the other issues that we have going on. This election is about introducing the new financial system. 100%. There's no mistake Trump brought on RFK. There is no mistake why Trump got so close in the line with Elon Musk. Okay. And the reason is because Trump has been very public on bringing in Bitcoin into the treasury to get rid of our $35 trillion debt. And if you don't believe $35 trillion debt, I have the debt clock here ready to show you. Okay.
Go ahead, run it.
35.9, bro. And it's counting. Now, here's something very interesting that's happening within the debt clock. Down over here, this didn't exist a few months ago. Dollar to crypto ratio. Okay. Why would you add in a crypto factor into the US debt clock if crypto is a scam? If crypto is bullshit, right? Why is BlackRock, why is Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, is advocating his client? So we're talking about pretty much everything you own. If you own a Samsung phone, BlackRock owns it. If you have Apple, BlackRock owns it. If you drive a car, BlackRock probably owns a portion of your car. Okay, BlackRock owns everything, bro. So when Larry Fink is telling his people, the banks, hey guys, we got access to Bitcoin, that means that this system cannot sustain itself anymore because this system is a debt-based system. So this system has to change. It has to reset. It can't. Right now, we're sitting on a house of cards of $35 trillion. The money, the M2 money supply has inverted. They're about to cut interest rates right now, and assets are about to go fucking crazy. Gold is going to soar. Look, let's look at Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin. I got Bitcoin right now. Here, boom. 75,000. We're at price discovery, guys. We just broke all-time high right now, right over here, 76.2. That's the new all-time high, and we're just getting started, bro. We're just getting started. Historically, after an election, when we go into macro cycles, let me show you guys here something. So let's see here. This is, I want to go back to 2020. So this is 2020. So let's go towards the election. All right, this is the election right here. Boom. Look what happens right after the election. Just pops off. Okay. And that's been cyclical. I started researching this earlier this week. I wanted to look at the macro cycles. I wanted to go back and see. So I went back to 2012. Same thing. Let's see. Let's go back over here historically. There it is. Started going in. Let's get in a little closer. Let's see what it does over here. So 1126. So then it didn't start going until later into the cycle. So every time we have something going on after an election, these things like to move. The market likes to move. And again, it's, in my opinion, bro, it's all about the financial reset. And that's really what it's about, man, because just the way how it is right now, it's unsustainable.
I think you hit on a couple of points that I think is really, really important. And I think the financial one you hit home, and you're way more apt at that. But it's the information economy is now completely different, and it's been changing for the last decade. But like, this has been the solidification of that change, right? people have been talking about new media for now since what, 2016, 2017, right? Everybody's been talking about how information it will be shared and distributed for a long time. I remember back in the late 90s that the crazies were the only ones that say, you don't understand, one day the news media is not going to matter. It's going to be direct communication, right? Remember that? Remember people saying that in the movies back in the day? Man, and I think about it now, it's like, is Joe Rogan controlled opposition? Maybe. I don't know. But I'll tell you this, his opinion matters to 11 million people. And 11 million people in an election this tight a month ago, that moves the needle, right? Tim Pool talking about these things, his 8 million views per episode moves the needle, right? Like PBD moves the needle. Like, you don't have to like these guys, but the fact that their followings are not just in the hundreds of thousands, I'm talking about millions, right?
Dude, 3, 4 million. Kelly. Remember Megyn Kelly? Who used to have a big beef with Donald Trump, came out in support for Donald Trump, and she's killing it on YouTube, bro. Her numbers are amazing.
But it's not just that. It's like, even for her, right? Her going on the Shannon Sharp show or stuff like that. Like, they have to understand the Democratic Party is what the Republican parties were 10 years, 12 years ago. They're like, oh, the Republican Party doesn't know how to adapt. They don't know how to do this. They don't know how to do that, because Obama was utilizing social media. He was utilizing new media for the time, right? The Instagrams, the social, the Twitters. And now that not me, but like the Republican conservative kind of got this populist thing going in the underbelly of the internet, they've attached themselves to that. They've hired the new young people to say, it's like, hey, we can't go on Fox News alone, guys. We're not wanted by the liberal left in America. We're not wanted by the oligarchs that run the media companies. So how do we bring life? How do we bring vitality? How do we get our message out directly to the people? Whether you like it or not, since 2016, since 2014, since 2013, since the second term of Obama, I've seen the Pepe memes go crazy. People call them the right, the radical left, the radical right, whatever, right? But you have to understand that's how it starts. The radicals start this stuff, and this is how we get here. And then obviously to get into power, the radicals needed to tame it back and get polished. They had to disassociate themselves from the radical right wing and say, no, this is what we want out of things. And that's where you got Trump. Trump, he did hijack that movement. You can't say he didn't, because he did, right? But I think he understood, just like the base understood, that to get the biggest part of the pie that we want out of policy in America, we had to both assign ourselves to what we can get, which was food back, money back in our pockets, and food in our bellies. Real food in our bellies, right? We don't care what some guy says. Like I've never met a generation of Americans prior to this voting block that really cared what a guy said or didn't say. In years past, freaking you scream the wrong way in a political rally, you lose an election. Now you can literally say whatever the hell you want. What are you going to do for me when you're in there? I don't know if it's maturity. I don't know if it's just the desensitization of us as, voting Americans, that we just don't care what they say anymore on a podcast or on TV. It's like, bro, but what did you do for me? What have you done for me lately? What do you put in my pocket? Can I afford eggs, like Jose said? Can I invest my money and actually see something out of it? Can I buy a house? Man, what is it? The average price in America to buy a home in today's world is what? $200,000? That's kind of just an average, right? When our parents in the 80s, it was 50,000 to buy a house. Bro, it's ridiculous. And even back then they were talking about it's crazy. And now they think if Abuelito was alive, he look at me, he was like, bro, I don't know how you do it. Bro, like statistically, the millennial generation has it 10 times worse off than our parents did. On paper alone.
For sure.
On paper alone, on inflation alone. Just pull up the numbers. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean,
you're telling me the new media doesn't have an effect on that. It does, because we consume.
Absolutely. And but when you also look at the buying power of the dollar since then, right? It's just been going down, 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 down. Right? You can't buy the same amount of groceries that you could 20 years ago with with $100. 20 years ago, you could probably get, at least maybe a week and a half worth of groceries. Now, that's just a few days.
Bro, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
6 years ago. 6 years ago. $150, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Today?
So what are y'all thoughts on RFK? Do we like him? Do we not like him?
I love
do
this
we like him getting make America healthy again? Ricardo, what are your thoughts on this?
Eric and I were talking about this, and I'll just say the same thing we said on the episode. It's going to be interesting to see where they put him. My hope originally was that they put him on HHS, Health and Human Services, but Eric brought up a good point that he's probably going to go after the FDA. I hope one of the first things he does is ban or eliminate high fructose corn syrup and derivatives and the food color dyes. I hope he eliminates that. And I think that's probably what he's going to go for. Because one of the things that I'm tired is how shitty food is here. Like even my wife, when we went to Puerto Rico and we came back, she was like, "What the fuck?" Like it's fucking night and day.
Yeah, the food is way different. It tastes better. Way different. It's the food that here in the States, they literally are poisoning.
Yeah. Even when I lived in Korea, I remember when I lived in Korea, the food was like, when I got back, I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Like, what the fuck? Japan, same thing. Japan was like a whole nother level. The food there is like on a whole nother level. Mexico, shit. Mexico has shit. Mexican McDonald's is probably one of my top 3 favorite McDonald's.
Interesting.
And if you've never been to a Mexican McDonald's, they're pretty cool. My favorite one is Korea. My second favorite one is Japan. Third one's Mexico. From and I don't eat McDonald's in the States. Like,
because that shit'll kill you.
Well, it just doesn't. It has no flavor either. Like it just doesn't have any flavor. So like that's what I'm thinking. RFK will do. I think also deep. Eric said that he's like, I wish they showed him the CIA files. Just be like, here, take a look. And then he looks at it. He goes, oh shit. All right, going back to work over here. And then just fucking fuel that man with all that hatred that he has for the CIA at the fucking FDA. Like something like that. I mean, shit, something. The dude's in shape. The dude clearly understands. I do hope that if he does do that, that he hires like a shit ton of like nutritionists and shit like that. Like that's the one thing that I do hope that happens.
I wanted to show y'all a video really quick about from RFK from an interview that he had, and he got a question asked about about the whole fluoride situation. And this is just a quick short, but this one is from one of my business partners and one of our friends here at the show is from 3T Warrior Academy, Coach JV, and he talks about the pineal gland, which is a small little gland in the center of your brain. And how the fluoride affects that. But he's talking about this like publicly in an interview, and not a lot of people know about this, but check this out really quick, guys. And then Danny, I'll let you.
Got, maybe Elon coming into the efficiency. We got RFK around health. We got Tulsi Gabbard. We got interesting dynamic. But he said something in this interview with Tucker Carlson last night at Mar-a-Lago about the pineal gland. This is something I've been talking about for years. Is the pineal gland. Do you realize that this is a spiritual battle? We have the 47th president of the United States, Donald Trump. Somebody he's going to put in his health organization is talking about the pineal gland. And I'll go a little bit deeper into that. And this all has to do with financial, guys. Listen to what he says.
Thyroid injuries, it also calcifies the pineal gland of the human brain, which is the part of our brain that actually creates our spiritual feelings.
We got
Danny.
Like I said, dude, like I said this in the supporters club. I've said this publicly before, but like I do believe that this is part of the great work and the great revival that's happening, right? Like it's such a spiritual deal. Like I think the powers that be understand how powerful an enlightened society, a society that understands how to deal with not only the physical but the spiritual, and I think that's why there was such an attack on Christianity too, because when the closer we are to that source, it's a harder group of people to control, because it's like, no, because we don't need ex-government to provide shelter for the homeless. We, as the people, the church, we built one, and they're doing great and getting into recovery and actually living a better life. But when you did it, they just stayed. Like the problems to fix in the local community don't have to come from the government if you have your pineal gland open, because you can work with your brother. Like literally. And it's funny to see that, because it's kind of like the feeling that I got kind of today. It's like, okay, it's over. The hard part's over. It's going to be interesting to see how all of this is going to go. Like, I think the battles, there's still a lot more to come. I think to see him as a lame duck president and change policy, it's only 4 years, but like a guy that kind of has nothing else to lose. You feel me? Like, imagine the type of radical policy changes he's going to be able to do in this one and only term he has.
And he has no excuse, because he has the Senate and he has Congress.
And he won popular vote.
Excuse. No,
I don't know. What do you think, Rico? What do you think? The pineal gland, this thing. What do you think it is?
I don't know much about the pineal gland things to comment on it. I know that it sounds like something interesting. I know that fluoride and all the other shit that they add isn't good. That's why it's like, wash your vegetables, and watch the toothpaste you use and shit like that. I'm interested in seeing what RFK is gonna do. No, I know what it is, fuckface. Fucking I know the fucking purpose of it. I know that when you die,
just making sure that you're aware of where it's located in your.
I know
body,
that when you fucking, I know where the fuck it is. I've seen people fucking open someone's head. Anyways, no. I don't know. I'm interested in seeing what he's gonna do with the Food Administration stuff, because that's one thing that, like, again, like I've been talking about that for years.
He's gonna get rid of the chemtrails.
Chemtrails? What the fuck is a chemtrail?
Oh, dude.
Educate
you ever
me.
look up in the sky and you see like a long ass cloud, and you're like, where the hell did that come from? That's a chemtrail.
He's a former military vet, dude. He looks up and he just goes, at least I'm alive. Okay, it's fine.
That's not really what I do, but all right. No, I didn't notice that. I look up and I'm like, is that a meteor? All right. No, I don't know much about that. All I know, man, is I'm interested in seeing what they're gonna do with the food. I'm interested in seeing what they're gonna do with the military. VA, I really don't care. I thought I cared, and then I'm just like, we haven't gotten it right in over 100 years. We're never gonna get it right, so just make it sustainable. And then the Bitcoin thing interests me, because I figured Bitcoin wasn't bullshit whenever I started seeing commercials for like traders being like, hey, invest in Bitcoin. But then I would see people saying it's bullshit. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, if CNN and Fox and all these major companies are taking their money to say, yeah, buy Bitcoin, it's not bullshit. You just want to tell people it's bullshit so other people jump in and they have more of it, and they can, like, I get how a Ponzi scheme works. I'm sorry, I get how investing works. So yeah, no, that's the thing with that. I'm interested in seeing what Elon's gonna do. I even said this on our podcast. If I could ever sit down and have a conversation with Elon Musk, I would have a lot of questions about how he would fix Puerto Rico. Even Donald Trump, that would be one of my main questions is, hey, for the next 4 years, if you if you could and if you would, what are you gonna do with the power crisis and problems that Puerto Rico has? And what are your thoughts on the Jones Act? Those would be the only two things that I would ask Elon Musk.
We're gonna make Puerto Rico. We're gonna clean up Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Did you know that Puerto Rico was an island of garbage? We're gonna clean up that island.
Jesus.
We're gonna clean it up.
Here's what I would like to say.
The best, most shiniest power grid is gonna be great.
Here's like if Puerto Rico's gonna stay as status quo, which apparently it's gonna be like that for the near future, and Trump really wants to make that place an asset to the United States, I would just say, hey, Elon, I'll give you 40 days on the island by yourself. Go crazy.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Imagine Elon in 40 days he would fix the power grid.
How?
Free internet.
How? That's the thing. That's why
Starlink alone
would change a lot. Yeah, Starlink alone would change a lot. But
he
is a top 20 player in Diablo 4. So
honestly, I was thinking of jumping on some Starlink.
It's I think as soon as because we got done some stuff around the house, that's one of the next things on the list for us is to get Starlink, because we've had a lot of issues with the internet before, and it's a gamer house in my house now. My kids playing Kingdom Hearts and shit. So I think Starlink is definitely going to be the way to go. I don't know what he would do with Puerto Rico, man, because that's the thing is there's got to be a way to fix the power problem, because it's just fucking ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's fucking ridiculous.
Here's the thing. It's modernizing it, and I think there's something that they touched on with the Trump interview at Rogan. It's like being able to do the nuclear power in miniature form, in like the smaller units like they did in Europe. That would be a great solution. But I'm not an expert. I don't know.
Rico. Not for Puerto Rico.
I don't know. You don't know either, though.
No. I do know. You can't. Cuba. Cuba would fucking riot if the United States tried to put anything nuclear in Puerto Rico. The same way they would if it was
it's not for weapon development. It's for energy. Two totally different.
You go explain that to the Cubans. Come on now.
What are they? Okay, now here's my thing. What are the Cubans going to do?
Then I think the United States government needs to have a focus group. They need to have a focus group, right?
Yeah.
And then relabel the definition of nuclear, and then maybe label it something else.
I agree with you 100%. Here's the thing: have you been watching what's been happening in Cuba for the past couple months? They had internet, dude. They had internet, and then they took the internet away, and the Cubans have been fucking pissed, fucking pissed, because they were like, "Wait a minute, there's a thing called Pornhub. How is this? I don't want fucking communism. What are you telling me? A Bella Danger? Anyway,
give me freedom.
Give me freedom. They just have really strong
and that's the thing. Cuba is also at a weird prime time in its history, because if there's going to be a second or third or fourth revolution, whatever their revolution on is right now, because that guy that's running that country right now is killing the people, basically genocide on this side of the globe.
Imagine, bro, if Cuba became a territory like Puerto Rico.
They were a territory at one point.
But what I'm saying, could you imagine, bro?
Right after the Spanish American War, Jose, before they bought their freedom.
I'm telling you, bro. If Cuba became kind of like Puerto Rico, Puerto Ricans would start reproducing with the Cubans, bro. Imagine the food. Imagine the babies we would bring, bro.
Yeah. I know a couple of them. They live in Miami, Florida. They're horrible people.
Oh my God. Ay, Dios mío.
That is the craziest of the. You don't want to combine two types. Look, every Puerto Rican and Cuban, or Puerto Rican and Dominican person that I know that is just directly down the middle, split between those two people. The most lovely, toxic people I've ever met in my life.
Yo, Christ. That facts, bro.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Bro. I'll be real honest with you.
I just had a rush of flashback memories of living in Miami, and it's like, yep.
It's beautiful. Like I'm talking about beautiful, lovely, truly genuine people. But the other flip side of that coin is they're both very murderous people.
I can work with murdery.
Oh God, like, but you don't understand, like when it's former communist murdery versus other types of murdery, it's very different.
Well, that's because they didn't have Pornhub before. That's why. Now look at them. They just want to see a Bella Dangerous tits. Like
Jesus.
Lack of.
Or lack of, yeah. That goes to show you. I don't even know. I'm throwing out names that I just like saw before coming on. I'm like, a Bella Dangerous. Sure, whoever the fuck that is. One of my friends the other day was like,
porn star names. I mean,
bro, the other day one of my homies was like naming porn stars, and I go, I don't know who the fuck that is. He goes, yeah, sure you don't. And I was like, I'm gonna make this as comfortable as possible. I go, listen, man, does she have tentacles and is she drawn? And he fucking died laughing, and I was like, I don't know who the fuck these women are, bro. Like, I know who Mia Khalifa is. Because of the whole incident where ISIS was like, Rrr! And I was just like, oh, wow.
This took like a hard right turn, bro.
Yeah, like, 2 seconds later.
You brought me in here. You brought me in here. Like
Jose, you requested him. You did.
You fucking did.
I did. And I do not regret it.
Poor people in California, bro, don't even know yet either.
Jeez. They requested. So a question. So I know that you're doing this thing in California later in the year. Towards the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Will you or will you not? And I need to know. Will you? 1 second here. It's a whole.
Oh my God, get your question out, bro.
1 second. Will you do this during the presentation?
Funny you say that. I was talking with the presenter, and he was like, hey, just so you know, we have like a gala that night or whatever the fuck, and you're invited. I was like, oh yeah, cool. He's like, yeah, there's gonna be some UCLA professors or whatever. Yeah, man, that's cool. And he's like, oh, you know, there might be like a couple interpreters that help translate these tablets and stuff. Yeah, man, that's awesome. And I'm like, hey, what's the dress code? Oh, whatever you want. And I was like, can I just wear a hoodie? And he's like, just a hoodie? I go, yeah, just a hoodie. I'll wear socks. And he's like, oh my God, could you imagine if someone did it? And I sat on the phone. I looked at Eric. He was across from me, and Eric's laughing. And I go, I think this motherfucker thinks I'm joking. And Eric goes, you're going to wear a suit.
You're going to
wear a suit? Oh, yeah, I'll wear a suit. And I like hang up. Like, yeah, they don't.
No,
they don't.
Richard, you are wearing a suit today, okay? No, you are not at home, and no, you may not Pooh Bear it.
This is ridiculous. I feel like this is just ridiculous.
You're robbing my freedoms.
Yeah, like I thought this was America. To the Pasadena Community College. I'll see you in December.
Jesus.
200 plus people just watch this, and they're like, oh my God, he really is gonna show up like that. Like, no, I mean, no, I won't do that. I'm in California, man. I know my audience. I know
Dude, you
my
should
audience.
Bro, you know, be hilarious. Like, you just take the stage up, Pooh Bear, and everyone like, Trump what, motherfuckers? Just walk off stage, bro.
Put his toilet paper roll away. Put it away. Put it away now.
Oh my God. I told him that Eric was my life partner, and I haven't told Eric about it. Because they were like, yeah, for the gala, you have a +1. I go, yeah, I have a +1. They're like, oh, your wife? And I go, my life partner, Eric McElroy. They go, oh my God, yes, absolutely. And I'm sitting there, I told Bridget, and Bridget was like,
Danny as your life partner the next time.
Oh, dude, I did. So when I got married, right? I'll fucking share this. Bridget won't see this. When I got married, I forgot to update. God damn it. I forgot to update my like my benefits and shit. So one time we went to VA to an appointment, and the lady goes, okay, so are you the who are you, ma'am? She's like, oh, I'm the wife. She goes, oh, I don't have you here on the information. And I look at her and I go, no, it's okay. Let's just update it. Let's don't. And she's like, is Mr. Sean P. Davis still your life partner, or is this now your wife? And Bridget just fucking turns.
Sean,
and I look
really?
at her and I go, this is Bridget. This is Bridget Eck, my friend. We can keep Sean Davis as my life partner. And I fucking left it like that for like a week. Yeah, my wife was pissed. I got no pussy that week, bro. Like, it was a rough week. It's a rough week in this house. It was a rough week. But it was
tenía que resolver con una bella danger.
Bro.
Nah, Jose, that's not his type. He likes that one from 90 Day Fiance. That's a little lady boy. That's the ones he likes. That's his type,
I don't watch trash TV.
Don't
bro,
get me
sorry.
started. Don't you fucking get me started on that show, goddammit.
And with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching.
Don't you get me started on. Oh my god. They have a blind Christian man from Lagos that this woman that he is seeing, she's leaving him. She goes, "You will never see me again." I'm like, he's fucking blind. He's blind.
That's a clip.
He's fucking blind.
That's
bitch.
a clip. That's a clip.
No, like for real. She went to no. Listen, this bitch went to fucking Lagos and they go get a fucking chicken for her to eat. She goes, "You can't kill that chicken. That chicken could be my friend." Like, where the fuck do you think you are? This is fucking Africa. Like, chickens are not friends, bitch. Like, and then she keeps telling, she goes, "If you weren't blind, I don't think we'd be together. I'm self-conscious." Of course you are. You're a horrible human being. Like, fuck.
Oh, that was so good, bro.
Oh my god.
Clip all that.
Sorry.
That's a 5-minute YouTube video. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Clip that, Jose.
Fucking, by the way, Jose, I didn't want to correct
that.
you earlier, but you were saying celebrities, and I think you meant to say P. Diddy partners.
Oh,
No.
yeah. So I didn't want to
there.
go. I didn't want to go too deep into that whole situation because that's like a whole podcast in itself. Because there's so much shit that's coming out right now. Apparently, there's been some leaked footage of some of these freak off parties, and there's some really high profile people in these videos.
Here's what I'll tell you, right? And I know this because I've interviewed casting directors. Okay, I'll tell you this. Most of those
kind
things
of casting directors, huh?
Casting directors, casting director from the Golden Girls, casting directors for Airplane.
Okay. So mainstream Hollywood, got
those
it.
guys. And a lot of times when those things occur, people sign NDAs. Celebrities aren't stupid. Look at Bill Cosby. If you look this up, some of those people, they signed NDAs. There's a reason for that. A lot of that stuff people fucking know. I'm not saying
Beyonce says it. Beyonce says it in her lyrics, right? If you want to hang out, yeah, she says it in one of her lyrics. You wanna spend a night with Ye, you gotta sign an NDA. I ain't even lying, bro.
I didn't fucking know. That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny. Now I gotta look up that fucking song. You send me that later.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up here for a moment. But what do you got going on, bro? What you got in the works? What projects you working on?
Oh man,
plug your stuff in, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me. If you don't subscribe to Cultura Truth Project, you're dead to me, and you probably voted for Kamala Harris. Or probably a third-party person, or unless you voted for Harambe. If you voted for Harambe forever. You can follow me on.
Before that, yo, R.I.P. to Peanut the squirrel.
All right,
you'll be missed.
Pouring one for Peanut. It didn't work. It was empty. You can find me on my socials on Richard Aviles and on Instagram on Language Ninja. I'll be in LA from the 5th of December until the 10th. I'll be working some mics down there and making some connections, and then I have a presentation at the Pasadena Community College at the 7th for the Interpreter Summit for AATIP. And then I'll be doing an interview with Urban Valor TV on the 9th, which should air sometime next year. That's going to be a really cool one. Shout out to Urban Valor TV. They do a lot of really good veteran interviews. And then other than that, just going to be taking about 2 months off up until February because it's my dead season as an interpreter. And I'll be studying for my medical exams and then teaching hopefully sometime next year people to get certified to be interpreters and teaching Spanish. Yeah, if you want to contact me, just you can find me on languageninjasolutions.com.
And I'll have all the links in the description, so you don't have to worry about all that. But we'll put everything in the description. So guys, make sure you guys follow over that.
And subscribe to the Cultura Truth Project, or you're dead to me.
That's why we love Rico. That's why we love Rico.
Danny, what you got going on?
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody who came out to Aqua Bar last Friday night. I know I posted all over my socials. I closed down the show. Thank you guys. Thank you to Panda Comedy for letting me come on and hop on that show. That was a great honor. Love that place. It's been great. Formerly known, actually, it's fun. It's funny when Latinos take over an old rock and roll spot. Like the rock and roll spot still looks like an old strip club, but the Latinos just put their Miami vibe on it. It's great. Love it.
And then it's definitely a strip club.
And it's like, yo, now we just got Colombian girls doing stuff they're not supposed to do. You know, put on clothes. We lost the license, girl. This is why we lost the license, because of you. Anyway, it was a great spot. Man, we got a couple of big things going on, coaching like I always do. I'm gonna make an appearance on Rico's podcast here pretty soon, according to him. So probably gonna be the end of the year. Actually, we should have Jose come on too. Let's do all three of us.
I'd be more than honored to jump on.
Dicks. Yeah, we just broke 50,000 a month, 50K views a month. So
we need to talk. We need to talk after this show here. So I need to get a little info from you from that.
Yeah, we can talk. I just had a guy too.
So
Awesome.
There's that, and then also more podcasts till I think our last recorded one for the year is gonna be week of Thanksgiving, something like that, Jose.
Probably.
That's gonna be the last one.
Yeah,
that's our season. That's our season 1 finale. It's gonna be.
We'll wrap up probably your birthday weekend, your birthday week. So next week.
So yeah, let's do. I don't know. We'll talk, but it's going to be a good show. I'm excited. So.
Well, guys, we've reached to the end of the show. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Make sure you follow the show. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on all socials, YouTube and Rumble, Cultura Truth Project, Gonzalez Media TV on Facebook and on Instagram. And subscribe to the podcast on all major platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. Support the show by joining the Supporters Club on Spreaker. $3 a month, link in the description. Make sure you guys smash that like button and share out the show. We much appreciate it. We love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And guys, everything's gonna be okay. Don't freak out. Just chill out. All right? Take care.